You walk around this building, and everyone is so supportive and so excited about what is happening with the Fever.
The biggest star in basketball is facing a crisis that could define her entire career. And it's not happening on the court under the bright lights of a sold-out arena. It's a silent war being waged behind the scenes, a conflict of trust and philosophy that has now forced the hand of the Indiana Fever's front office and led to a shocking ultimatum that nobody in the sports world saw coming. For weeks, the world has watched Caitlin Clark navigate the brutal, unforgiving transition to the WNBA. The physicality, the constant defensive pressure, the immense weight of a franchise, and arguably the future of the league resting squarely on her shoulders, it was all part of the expected narrative. She was supposed to be the savior, the phenom who would elevate the game to new heights. But the real story, the one that insiders and sources close to the team are whispering about, is far more complicated and far more dangerous to her legacy. It's a story about trust, on-court chemistry, and a rookie teammate who has become the unwilling, silent centerpiece of a franchise-altering power struggle. The pressure inside the Gainbridge Fieldhouse was suffocating, a palpable tension that you could feel through the screen. Another crucial game was slipping through the Fever's fingers, and you could see the raw frustration etched all over Caitlin Clark's face. She was driving into a wall of defenders, dishing to teammates who weren't ready for the pass, and desperately trying to create opportunities out of thin air. But the floor felt like it was shrinking with every possession. Defenses were collapsing on her with a suffocating, brutal intensity, employing schemes like the box and one, a strategy rarely seen at the professional level but devastatingly effective against a team with one primary threat. They were daring, practically begging anyone else on the Fever to make a play. It was a scene that had become painfully, agonizingly familiar for Fever fans and for Clark herself. The team needed a spark, a pressure release valve to open up the court and give their superstar the precious inches of breathing room she thrives on. Yet, sitting on the bench, watching this strategic suffocation unfold, was the one player who was specifically recruited for that exact purpose. And as the final buzzer sounded on another gut-wrenching loss, the questions began to shift from the team's X's and O's to a far more personal and explosive question. Why wasn't Caitlin Clark playing with Justine Pissott? The name Justine Pissott might not carry the same global recognition as Caitlin Clark's, but within the highly specialized world of basketball scouting, she's known for one elite, game-changing skill: her lethal three-point shot. Recruited as a high-profile transfer, Pissott was brought to the Indiana Fever for a very specific, non-negotiable reason. She is a floor spacer of the highest order, a designated sharpshooter whose entire purpose on the court is to camp out behind the arc and make defenses pay a heavy price for focusing too much attention on superstars like Clark and Aaliyah Boston. In basketball theory, she is the perfect complementary puzzle piece. Her mere presence on the court should, by design, create wider, more inviting lanes for Clark to drive, and make it strategically impossible for opponents to double-team her without giving up an open, high-percentage shot. She is, in essence, the key to unlocking the full, terrifying potential of Caitlin's offensive genius in the WNBA. The front office saw it when they acquired her, the coaches saw it when they drew up their plays, and every analyst across the league saw it when they broke down the Fever's roster. So her continued puzzling absence during crucial offensive sets began to look less like a standard rookie not being ready for the big moment, and more like a vital tool being deliberately left in the toolbox. This was no longer just a simple coaching decision or a matter of rookie development. It was a profound mystery that was starting to fuel rampant speculation and point toward a deeper, more unsettling issue festering within the team's core dynamics. And the truth behind why she was sitting on the bench, unused and unseen, was far more shocking and politically charged than anyone could have possibly imagined. What started as quiet, isolated murmurs in the locker room soon grew into a persistent, undeniable chorus of whispers that something was fundamentally off within the team. The on-court chemistry, especially between the monumental rookie Clark and some of the newer or less established players, felt disjointed and awkward. It lacked the fluid, almost telepathic connection that championship teams are built on. Sources close to the team, speaking on the condition of anonymity, began to suggest that the glaring issue wasn't about a lack of talent, but a critical lack of trust. The rumor mill churned with stories of practice sessions where the ball movement seemed to predictably favor familiar, veteran teammates, and of a subtle but growing disconnect between the team's superstar and the role players specifically brought in to support her. The emerging narrative pointed directly at Clark, a generational player so used to having the ball in her hands and making every single decision for 4 years at Iowa that she was now struggling to integrate with pieces she wasn't fully confident in. Was she deliberately overlooking Pissott, a player with whom she hadn't yet built a deep-seated rapport? Or was it a more subconscious bias, a quarterback sticking to their trusted, well-known receivers in a moment of intense crisis? Whatever the underlying reason, the on-court result was the same. The team's offense was becoming predictable, stagnant, and easy to defend. The glaring lack of synergy was becoming a significant liability, and in the cutthroat, results-driven world of professional sports, liabilities are handled swiftly and decisively by the people at the very top. The situation was rapidly escalating beyond a simple rookie adjustment period. It was becoming a full-blown problem, a foundational crack in the franchise's future, and a very powerful, legendary figure was about to step in to solve it, her way. That legendary figure is Lynn Dunn, the general manager and senior advisor for the Indiana Fever. To truly understand the gravity and weight of what happened next, you have to understand exactly who Lynn Dunn is. She isn't just another front office executive in a suit. She's a basketball legend, a titan of the sport. She is a Hall of Fame coach, with a championship ring from her time coaching this very franchise in 2012, and a reputation forged in decades of tough, decisive, no-nonsense leadership. Dunn is a product of an old school of thought, where the team, the logo on the front of the jersey, comes first, second, and third. Individual accolades, personal preferences, and even superstar status mean very little to her if the team isn't winning. She has seen it all, from managing the most demanding superstar egos to building championship rosters from the ground up with overlooked and undervalued players. Her philosophy is brutally, beautifully simple. You either contribute to the solution or you are a part of the problem. And she has absolutely zero patience for locker room drama or on-court chemistry issues that stem from anything other than maximum collective effort. As she watched her team struggle, as she saw the stagnant offense, and as she heard the whispers growing louder from inside her own organization, she recognized the dangerous signs of a fracture. It was a deep, unsettling crack in the very foundation she was meticulously trying to build around Clark. And Lynn Dunn was not about to let her billion-dollar franchise crumble before it even had a chance to be built. She decided it was time for a direct intervention, and it was going to be swift, brutally direct, and completely unforgettable. The meeting was said to have taken place behind a closed, unmarked door, in the depths of the arena, far from the prying eyes and sensitive ears of the media. It was just Lynn Dunn and Caitlin Clark. No coaches, no agents, no public relations staff, no buffers. The atmosphere was reportedly icy and thick with tension. Dunn, with her decades of experience and an unblinking, unwavering resolve, didn't waste a single second with pleasantries. She laid out the situation in stark, unambiguous terms. She spoke of the team's immense potential, the city's unprecedented excitement, and the massive financial and strategic investment the franchise had made in building a winner around its new cornerstone. Then, with surgical precision, she got to the heart of the matter. According to sources who were later briefed on the intense exchange, Dunn revealed the ultimatum. It wasn't a crude threat of being traded or benched. That would be insane and counterproductive. It was something far more psychologically potent and profound. She allegedly told Clark that the era of her having to do everything herself, the one-woman show from her college days, was officially over. She had dangerous weapons sitting on the bench, specifically sharpshooters like Pissott, who were brought in for the sole purpose of making her job easier and the team more dangerous. The directive was crystal clear. You will make it work. You will use every single asset this team gives you, or we will be forced to reevaluate the assets we have around you. The unspoken message behind those words was chilling and absolute. If Clark couldn't, or worse, wouldn't integrate with the pieces provided by the front office, then the front office would have no choice but to find other pieces. It was a direct, powerful challenge to her leadership and her ability to elevate the entire team, not just her own incredible stat line. The choice was now hers. Evolve into the complete leader the franchise needed her to be, or remain a brilliant solo act on a perpetually losing team. The ball was now, quite literally and figuratively, in Clark's court. In the days immediately following the reported closed-door meeting, the change was subtle but undeniably present. Observers at team practices noted a palpable shift in the team's energy and focus. The ball, which had often stuck in one or two players' hands, seemed to move more freely, touching more hands during offensive drills with a renewed sense of purpose. Clark, while still her intensely competitive self, appeared more focused on deliberate integration and team building. There were credible reports of her staying late after practice, running extra drills specifically with Pissott and other bench players, working tirelessly on timing, spacing, and building that crucial unspoken on-court trust. During her media sessions, the typically candid, open, and sometimes fiery Clark seemed more guarded and measured. When asked about team chemistry or her connection with new teammates, her answers became more diplomatic, filled with carefully chosen, team-first platitudes. She spoke about building trust every day and getting everyone on the same page. For a player who famously wears her heart on her sleeve, this new, more corporate and polished language was a massive red flag for many veteran reporters. It was the language of someone who had been given a clear, serious, and career-altering directive from the highest level of power. Then came the next game, the first public test. Fans, analysts, and likely the entire WNBA front office watched with eagle eyes. Would Pissott see meaningful minutes in the first half? And if she did, would Clark actively look for her? The first time Pissott checked into the game, a collective breath was held by everyone in the arena. The answer to those questions would reveal everything about whether the ultimatum had been truly received, and more importantly, what it meant for the future of the Indiana Fever. The tension was no longer just about winning a basketball game. It was about witnessing in real time the direct and immediate fallout of a high-stakes front office power play. This move by Lynn Dunn was about so much more than just getting Justine Pissott a few minutes of playing time. It was a calculated, strategic, and masterfully executed power play designed to send an unmistakable message not only to Caitlin Clark, but to the entire organization, the league, and the sports world at large. In the modern era of player empowerment, where superstars often wield immense, almost unchecked influence over roster decisions, coaching hires, and team strategy, Dunn's decisive action was a firm and powerful pushback. She was drawing a definitive line in the sand, unequivocally declaring that in Indiana, the franchise's authority and vision would not be challenged or compromised, not even by the biggest star the sport has ever seen. This was a classic, time-tested move to establish control and set the culture early in a superstar's career. By confronting this sensitive issue head-on and behind closed doors, Dunn was shaping the narrative around her young star on her own terms. She was forcing Clark to grow beyond being just a phenomenal scorer and into a true floor general, a leader who understands that her ultimate job is to elevate everyone around her. It was an incredibly high-risk, high-reward maneuver. If it worked, it could accelerate the team's development by years and forge a tougher, more unified, and resilient championship contender. If it backfired, it could create a toxic, irreparable rift between the star player and the front office, a disastrous dynamic that has derailed countless promising teams throughout sports history. Dunn was betting that Clark, the ultimate competitor, would respond to the challenge with maturity and determination. She was betting that a fire had been lit under her, a fire that would either forge a legend or expose a fatal flaw. The entire WNBA was now watching, waiting to see which it would be. The dust from this internal explosion is far from settled, and the aftershocks are still being felt. Lynn Dunn's ultimatum has fundamentally altered the trajectory of the Indiana Fever's season, and perhaps the entire Caitlin Clark era. A clear, unassailable message has been sent from the top down. Winning comes before everything, and no single player, no matter how popular or talented, is exempt from that ruthless, singular pursuit. The immediate future now hinges entirely on Clark's response. Will she embrace this immense challenge and evolve into the kind of transcendent leader who can carry a team to a championship by trusting and empowering every player on her roster? Or will the immense pressure from her own front office create a fracture that can't be repaired, leading to a future of discontent and what-ifs? This is the true, ultimate test of her greatness. It's no longer just about her incredible, once-in-a-generation talent with a basketball. It's about her ability to navigate the complex, high-stakes politics of professional sports and the burdens of leadership. The choice she makes next, the player she decides to become in the wake of this crisis, won't just determine the fate of one game or one season. It will define her entire legacy and finally answer the ultimate question that hangs over her young career. Is Caitlin Clark a superstar, or is she a champion? The whole world is waiting for the answer. Leading to a future of discontent and what-ifs? This is the true, ultimate test of her greatness. It's no longer just about her incredible, once-in-a-generation talent with a basketball. It's about her ability to navigate the complex, high-stakes politics of professional sports and the burdens of leadership. The choice she makes next, the player she decides to become in the wake of this crisis, won't just determine the fate of one game